This is the only channel that is going to warn you about one of the most dangerous and pernicious pieces of legislation ever proposed in the British Parliament. Keir Starmer is going to grant himself the rights to take control of your children, to indoctrinate them, and to stop you being genuine parents. Please, please, please give me a couple of minutes of your life just to explain what this law is and explain how you can help stop it. If you do that, then I guarantee you will be contributing to protecting the family, protecting our community, and protecting this country. Hello everyone, this is Andre Walker. The research that you're going to watch in this video today was provided by donors from the Patriot Fund. If you want to help out with things like this, please do donate below. Also, we're going to have a big meeting of all the donors to discuss our way forward. We're taking the fight to the bad guys. In this video, I'm going to pick up my phone because there are notes, as I say, paid for by research from the Patriot Fund. What I will do is go through this piece of legislation in some detail. It's currently at the report stage. I'll also copy and paste the information into the description. That means that if you do help me by phoning up your Member of Parliament, then you've got all the notes, what you need. Okay, essentially the deal is this. Every single child in the United Kingdom is now going to have a national identity card controlled by their local authority. Your right to take your child out of school because you disagree with the school indoctrinating them disappears. Every single local authority will now be able to cancel your ability to homeschool on the basis they disagree with your political views, and they will be able to force your children back into school. There will be a register of children who are not in school, and the local authority will crack down on anyone who takes their child out of school because they don't like lessons on trans, homosexuality, atheism, all of those things that many of you are unhappy about. Let's go through this piece of legislation line by line. By the way, I'm going to tell you something. The reason your Member of Parliament has not told you anything about it, the reason the mainstream media has not told you anything about it is because they've missed it. Buried in the detail of this law is a nightmare. I guarantee you, the people watching this video are the only people who are going to be able to resist this. So you're on your own. You might be the only person in your local area to be able to contact your Member of Parliament. Let's go through piece by piece and you're going to be shocked. Point number one, there will be a compulsory register of children not in school. The local authority will have to keep monitoring them. They will spy on your children if you homeschool. Next, homeschooling parents will provide information about exactly what they're doing to be approved by the local authority. Conservative Christianity, support for patriotism, opposition to uncontrolled immigration will have to be approved by the local authority for homeschooling, and they will decline. The local authority will now get power to look at what you're teaching your child at home and say it's unacceptable and politically, and they're unhappy with it politically. And that means your homeschooling right ends. Okay? So they're going to look at what you're teaching. There's a compulsory register of every child that's homeschooled. They're going to look at what you're teaching your child. And if they don't politically approve of it, your child is going back to school. Next. Okay, local authorities will review and potentially remove all children who are in homeschools if they disagree with the political direction of the parents. Unbelievable. Next point. Local authorities granted greater powers to investigate homeschools. What that means is that they are able to spy on your home. They're able to send private detectives to photograph your house, potentially even tap your phone and work out what you're up to. For the offence, by the way, of teaching your children that transsexualism is ridiculous. That's it. Right. So next, listen to this. Data. Okay, it introduced a unique identity number for every child. Every child now has a national identity card, even though you voted against it. It then says that it gives the right of local authorities to access this data. I guess that's fairly obvious. Okay, it also specifically removes your right to choose how you educate your child. It now has to be in line with the government's ruling on what is acceptable and what is unacceptable. So of course, what's going to happen is when they inspect your homeschool or inspect the way that you bring up your children, it's not going to be, well, okay, we don't agree with it, but that's what Orthodox Jews do. It's not going to be like that. It's not in line with the political direction of our crazy local authority. Therefore, your right disappears. Okay, so the final point I think is the most important. Loads of you are going to say, yes, but I don't homeschool my child. Okay, and I get that. But always remember something. You have a threat as a parent or a grandparent that you can make against your local authority or against your school. If push comes to shove, we will homeschool. That ability to threaten them is actually what is keeping them from running completely riot. That right ends, and it's going to end in the next couple of weeks. Your child is already a ward of court, and I say that for the following reason. When I was a little boy, a baby, my mum believed that I was dying when I was in the hospital. And medics said that I wasn't, and she overruled the medics and forced them to check me. And in fact, within a few hours, I was on the way to an emergency care unit, and that's why I'm alive today. That right disappeared under the Children's Act. Nowadays, it is the state that is the principal decider of what your child does, and parents are merely lobbyists, which is why when a parent wants to keep their child alive who has potentially, got brain injuries, they have to sue the NHS rather than the other way around. It is really pretty despicable. This is another step against the family. I'm going to tell you something. I think that parents and grandparents, aunts and uncles are the best people to bring up children. Now, is your family run in the way that I would want my family to be run? No, but that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? You want to do things your way, I want to do things my way. Taking away the rights of parents is a complete and total disaster. The Children's Act flipped everything on its head. Previously, parents were assumed to be competent unless the courts were shown that they weren't. Now the courts will determine that the state is responsible unless the parents can prove the state is wrong. Here's what I need you to do. First of all, please donate to the Patriot Fund. The link is in the description. The work that we're doing, nobody else is doing, and it's being paid for by donors like you. We've not got a fortune in there, but it's just about enough. So please do help. Next thing, I've copied and pasted all of the bullet points I've just gone through, so you've got them. Then I've sent the phone number of the House of Commons switchboard and also constituency locator, so you know who your Member of Parliament is. You just put in your postcode if you don't know who your Member of Parliament is, and it'll come up, and you phone their office tomorrow and say, vote no to the Children's Homeschooling and Welfare Act, whatever it's called. I'll give you the exact name in the description. Vote no, and tell them why they need to vote no. Some of you will know members of the House of Lords. It will now go to the House of Lords. If you know a member of the House of Lords, even if you briefly met them, once again, I'll put the House of Lords switchboard. Try and phone them. It's hard to get through, but nonetheless, try and send them a message anyway, because this is really important. Oh, and by the way, I do want to say one thing. When you phone the Palace of Westminster and when you speak to your Member of Parliament or their staff, please be respectful. There is no point in shouting abuse at these people. You need to lay out in detail why you are extremely concerned about it. And the other thing that you can do, which is almost as helpful as everything I've already said, forward this video. Nobody else on YouTube is talking about this. Nobody in the BBC is talking about this. If you do not spread the message about this piece of legislation, do not assume that somebody else will do it on your behalf. Families in this country are worth fighting for. I'm sitting here, and for better or worse, whatever you think of me, had I been born under the Tony Blair Children's Act, I would have died in the first 2 weeks of my life. That right of my mother to overrule medics and get me the treatment I needed no longer exists. Do not let them have more power than they had already. It is a nightmare. It is a disaster. Think about those parents. Think about those parents where their child is transitioning at school and they're not even told. And what's happened in Canada, where when you oppose your child being trans, they will take the child off you and amputate their genitals without your wish, without your agreement. And they'll lock you up for attempting to get your child back. Please save the family. Please help me with this. Donate, read, phone, and forward. Until next time, goodbye.